Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. If you want to stay up to date on all the mobile technology coming out and learn cool tips, tricks, and hidden features, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and tap the bell to turn on post notifications so you can be alerted every time we post new videos. Today we're doing a side-by-side spec comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A20 and the Samsung Galaxy S20. So we're going to put these phones side by side and see which one has the better specs. We always start with the software. The S20 is going to have the newest version of Android 10 out of the box, whereas the A20 does have Android 9 out of the box. So you are getting a newer version of the software with the S20. Moving on to the screen. Now you are getting a larger screen on the A20, a 6.4-inch display. However, the S20 does have an AMOLED Quad HD Plus display with a higher refresh rate than the A20, so it does win in terms of the screen category. Now, as you can see from the picture here, when you put them side by side, there's only a small difference in terms of, again, the size of the screen, but the S20 screen is just beautiful, and it does have, again, the higher refresh rate, so you are going to get a better viewing experience with the S20. Now, moving on to camera, you are getting a triple camera on the S20, with a 10 megapixel front camera and a triple camera on the rears. So you are getting a 12 megapixel wide angle camera, a 12 megapixel ultra camera, and a 64 megapixel telephoto camera, which makes the S20 camera better than the A20. You are also getting 3 times optical zoom on the S20 as well. So that camera is just packed with features. Now moving on to the internal memory, the A20 is going to have 32 gigs of internal storage, and the S20 is going to have 128 gigs of internal storage. Now both are going to be expandable with the micro SD card, but out of the box you are getting just a lot more with the S20. Battery wise, it's going to be the same. They're both going to have a 4,000 milliamp battery that is not removable. In terms of processor, now the S20, just to give you some context, has a 12 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the A20 has 8, whereas the S20 has 3 gigs of RAM. Now the A20 is going to have an octa-core processor, 1.8 gigahertz with 3 gigs of RAM. The S20 does have a Snapdragon 865 processor with 12 gigs of RAM. So the S20 processor is literally the newest processor and one of the fastest you can get in a smartphone. So it just blows the A20 out of the water, hands down. Now in terms of extra features, this is where the S20 really does shine over the A20. So on the A20 you are getting fingerprint scanner, facial recognition, wide angle lens, dual camera, fast charging, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC. On the S20 you're getting an in-display fingerprint scanner, so that means the fingerprint scanner is on the front screen. It's a 5G ready phone, 8K video recording at 24 frames, facial recognition, wireless charging with power share, which means you can take your phone, flip it over, and you can wirelessly charge other devices that support wireless charging. You also have super fast charging at 25 watts, which is even faster than fast charging, and it's also a water resistant phone. So it definitely does just overwhelm the A20 in terms of features. Now here's the thing, guys. A lot of people know the difference in these phones, but many don't, and that's why I wanted to do this video. Now, clearly, the S20 specs are way better, but the caveat to that is that the price tag is a lot higher. The S20 starting price as of today, end of March 2020, is going to run you $1,000 out the gate. Now, the A20 is going to start you closer to the $100, $200 range, depending on where you buy it. We will have a link below of where you can buy each phone if you're considering one of these two phones. If you're looking for the best of the best features, I would tell you to go with the S20, hands down. I mean, camera is going to be insane. Feels great in the hand, beautiful phone. However, if you want a good quality phone at a reasonable price that doesn't break the bank, large screen, I would tell you go with the A20. If all the things I named off in the S20 category you had never even heard of, then I would tell you not to concern yourself with spending $1,000. Only someone who really knows about all those features and all those processor specs. If you know about that stuff and that's important to you, spend the money, do it right. You can obviously finance this phone if you go to a carrier store, like a T-Mobile or a Sprint or a Verizon. You could buy it through Best Buy. You could finance it for 24 months. Or on Samsung.com's website, you can trade in a phone, and you can also finance the phone through them, and the payments are even more reasonable than going through a carrier. So there is a way to get it, even though it's $1,000. But again, that's if you want and need all of those top-of-the-line specs for the S20. If not, A20 is your guy. We have a follow-up video we're going to do to this, and it's just going to be going over the 3 different models of the S20. So in this video, we just compare the base model of the S20, but there are 3 different models of S20, S20, S20 Plus, and the S20 Ultra. So stay tuned for that video where we actually go over the differences in the 3 different models of the S20 if you are still considering getting the S20. Hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure you like, favorite, and share if it was helpful. Also, follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at H2 Tech Videos. Leave us a comment down below and let us know which phone you like better and which phone would better suit your needs. Thanks again for watching, guys. Take care, and as always, have a good one.